Operation Paperclip, The Scientist's Shadow. Fort Bliss, Texas, October 1946. Dr. Eric Weiss adjusted his glasses as the train screeched to a stop in the middle of the desert. The heat outside was suffocating, but what unsettled him more was the silence. No welcome, no banner, no anthem. Just dust soldiers and the eyes of men who knew what he had built. He wasn't a war criminal. At least that's what they told him. He was now an asset of the United States of America. His ticket in? A secret called Operation Paperclip. The secret deal the war was over. The Third Reich had fallen. But as the world counted the cost in rubble and bones, another war had already begun. A silent one, for mines, not missiles. In the spring of 1945, American intelligence began hunting not just Nazis, but their scientists. Doctors, physicists, the very men who had armed Hitler's war machine, were now seen as the keys to American superiority. A special unit, Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency, JIOA, was formed to smuggle these men into the U.S., erase their affiliations, and rebrand them as contributors to American science. Their pasts were classified, their futures, paid for in dollars and promises. The Rocket Men. Dr. Weiss was one of 1,600 German scientists, most notably including Werner von Braun, father of the V-2 rocket. These men were placed into military and NASA-related programs. Some were sent to Fort Bliss and White Sands to develop what would become the backbone of America's missile systems, and later the Apollo space program. But not all of them came for peace. Some whispered of experiments conducted in bunkers, of anti-gravity research that had begun in SS laboratories, of mind control programs that would later seed things like MK-Ultra. Officially, none of that came with them. Unofficially, and it never stopped. Dr. Weiss's dilemma. At Fort Bliss, Weiss was assigned to a top-secret propulsion project. His team, mostly former German nationals, worked under tight surveillance. But Weiss noticed something odd. His American overseers didn't care where the ideas came from, as long as they worked. One night he found his own Nazi personnel file on the desk of Colonel Harrow, pages that were supposed to be scrubbed. "We know what you did at Peenemünde," Harrow said. "But that rocket you designed, that might help us beat the Soviets to the stars, so you work for us now." Weiss felt the weight of the deal. His genius had been forged in fire and war. Now it was being sold to the highest bidder, the fallout. As the years passed, the public hailed America's scientific advances. The Saturn V, the moon landing, the ICBM shield. Few knew that behind many of these breakthroughs were men with rewritten histories. Operation Paperclip became one of the most controversial secret programs in U.S. history. Some called it a necessary evil. Others called it the import of monsters. Epilogue, 1977. Weiss retired quietly, his true past sealed in vaults. He watched from a distance as the world praised von Braun, as NASA rose and fell, and as whispers of classified aerospace breakthroughs echoed in the halls of Wright-Patterson and Area 51. He kept one photo on his desk, a V-2 rocket in silhouette, and scribbled beneath it in German, "Unsere Vergangenheit fliegt mit." Our past flies with us.